This is going to be very fun. I have no clue how this is going to work. Alright. Stream should be up. I think the notification's just got in, so I'll wait a couple of minutes and allow for some of the tier 2, tier 1, tier 4 guys, maybe a couple of the other guys in as well. Yeah, this could be a very long stream. I don't know how many of you are going to be here for, what, 4 hours, 5 hours even, maybe a little bit more. But if you are going to be, I applaud you. If you somehow stay here for 4 hours, fair play, because that's what that's what I'm about to do. Just wait for a couple of... Hello, Iggy. That's not what I expected into the stream. How's it going? I'm waiting for a couple of more people to get in here because this is going to be a long one. A really long one. I may or... Yeah, because works and stuff, yeah. I may or may not have forgot... What? I think it's 4 weeks? Where we're at now? I think I'm 4 weeks behind on this. Is this my napping podcast? It's about to be. BR4 is having a meltdown in chat. Claude, well, I would appreciate no spoilers. I have managed to... Good point. Yeah, I would appreciate absolutely no spoilers whatsoever. I have managed to keep myself off of tier 4 for 4 weeks. Since the last time, well, it's 4.5 weeks since I last did comms the Friday after Watkins Glen. So no spoilers for the next 4 hours. It's going to be difficult. But yeah, I'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes before we get going into the actual races itself. I have a drink here as well. I have everything sorted. I have no idea why I'm doing this. But fuck it, all in one go. Better get the stream up too, just for a little bit of this Inception going on. You hear my voice through my own phone. Daytime TV has changed since the last time I was able to watch. Alright, I have that in front of me. My phone will not stand as it was the other day now. Don't know why it won't. Alright, so first race. Wait, why is it outside? Does someone want to explain it to Viking, or do I have to spill through the last 5 minutes of explaining that I am substantially behind? God damn it, Ryan. Alright, so. First race, sprint race for Alsace. I mean, Highland still hasn't scored a goal in the Prem, Ryan. That hasn't changed. It's been 4 weeks. That hasn't changed. Yeah, right. So sprint God damn it. Sprint grid here, week 2 in tier 4. It's going to be a weird reference to things that happened 4 weeks ago. So you've got White Jumps on pole, Jeddah in behind him. Looked like a Porsche, just by the idea that everything on it is literally labelled Porsche. You've got Cunning Fern in the Supra. Really should get a livery at some point soon. In third, Jin in fourth with the Subaru. It was Subaru. The Subaru. What's round 4? I'll still be on the feature for this by the time you're done walking your dog. Brian in fifth, Amy in sixth. You got Moose in the other Subaru in seventh. Charizard in eighth. That's the normal livery the Supra comes with. That Castrol livery. I'm almost certain it is anyway. It is on the other one. On the old Supra anyway. I could be wrong on the new Supra. All I know is from the old Supra. I can't remember what the new Supra looks like. It's had my livery from Reno on for 55 years. Oh, it is a livery for this Supra. Okay, got it. No, because I know the Castrol is on the 97 one without you when you buy it. So, yeah, red, right, okay. Yeah. And you've got Fracas in ninth. Andy in... God. You'd think I know what my own car came with. I tried that car in my tier as well, by the way. Kutch in 11th, JMS in 12th, Juho in 13th, his promotion from tier 5 wasn't too great the first. Oh, God. Arak in 14th, and I believe that is the FT1, actually. They're both driving the FT1 there, actually. And for 13th and 14th, Monty in... Wow, this is so long ago. Monty's still in tier 4. In the other McLaren 15th, and Claus starts at the back of the grid. So, I think that means we are pretty much ready to go. We're going to do this now. So, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And lights out, away we go in Alsace, week 2 of the season, and it looks like White Jabs has gone away pretty nicely. Got 2 wide, 3 wide going into turn 1 between Fern, Jin and Jeddah, who's lost out as Jin gets into second. Cunning Fern stays third, Jeddah in 4th, Amy in 5th, got up a position off the start. Brian down to 6th, a couple of guys fighting in behind. I think that is Charizard and JMS and Moose, actually, those 3 fighting in behind, and it looks like we're going to go pretty deep into turn 3 here. No one's dead yet, somehow. Never mind, that's as soon as I said something. Oh, it looks like we've had multiple spins in the background there. Let's have a look. Let's go back onto Moose here, because it looked like him and maybe Kakarai too have spat it off the start. Let's see what happens here. He goes wide. He's on the outside line here going through turn 3. It's probably not a great idea. JMS just forces Charizard into the side of him a little bit. Oh, that's not good news for Andy. It looked like someone else has got off in front as well. Within a tenth of a second yet. That is fair as we now go back up the grid. Oh, Cunning Fern on the inside there against Jin. Jin's got a little bit slidey and hits the side of Jeddah, who manages to get in front. We can buy him Pyro a new mic. It looks like someone's got off here. It's got 2 Oh, that's JMS. That's JMS off the track in the middle sector here. Not entirely sure what happened. We'll continue watching nonetheless. Like, oh, Jin and Amy and Brian all getting into it here, going into the sweeping right-hand corner. And it doesn't look like a lot is actually going to come out of this. But Amy up into fourth nonetheless. Jin lost out a few positions in this race so far. We go into arguably Brian never what the, oh, it looked like Amy got a bit deep there. Lost a few positions all the way down into 7th and 4th. It looked like both Fracas has hit the back of Brian's there. Both the Gen X is also fighting up the hill. This is just seemingly chaos at the start. It looked like Whack Jumps has managed to get himself away at the front. Oh, someone got very deep there. It looked like Juho is the one that's gone very deep on the exit of the, into the actual entrance into the final chicane there, as we continue to watch into lap 2 now. And yeah, everything has just happened in that first lap. Oh, there's another one got off there. Who's the car? Who's the car there? I'm not entirely sure. The red car has got off. It actually is Fracas that went off in turn 1. Real hard to tell what red car goes off when like every car is red. As Claus and Fracas are going against each other here into turn 4. Everyone's seen JMS also going against his teammate. These guys are going to head together side by side into turn 5. Doesn't really engage in battling, which makes sense as they are teammates. We're looking a bit further up the grid. And it looks like the gens are still there and thereabouts with each other. Someone has had an absolute nightmare there. It looks like Jin has gone off the track, knocked off the polystyrene block on the inside, or on the outside, sorry, of that corner. Yeah, that lost a position to Amy in the process. Amy now up into 4th. Let's have a little tune into the front of the grid. We've got Jeddah in 3rd, not far off the back of Cunnington in 2nd right now, and Whack Jumps could easily be maybe 2 or 3 seconds off into the lead of this sprint race. We're 3.5 minutes through of a 15-minute race for those who may have forgotten from last night of how this actually works. If you're new, then 15 minutes of a sprint, 40 minutes of a feature. Going through 4 of them today. The Whack does a 52.5. Jeddah does the fastest lap of the race so far. These two still fighting their way through 2nd and 3rd. We're actually going to continue to watch this battle, albeit there's probably a little bit better battling through the mid-pack. Amy currently on her own in 4th at this point. A little bit off the pace with these guys, and Jin having a bit of a nightmare himself in 5th. Got off the track a couple of times, so trying to see where there is battling at the moment. Still going on between 2nd and 3rd. Jeddah's getting close, but not quite close enough as we head into the sweeping right-hander on lap number 3. I believe this is going to be an 8-lap race. Not sure if anybody in Tier 4 has the ongoing pace to actually completely roll through into a 9th lap. We'll wait and see. See, it's a little lagging a little bit. Shouldn't be, but it is. But it doesn't look like Jeddah's been able to get close enough here to cut him as we go through lap number 3 here. He's still on the back of him, but still nowhere to make a move. Cunning's doing a good job in that super. His tyres will go off sooner rather than later, and Jeddah goes a bit deep there through the hairpin, and that might open the door for Cunning to maybe just open a gap and clear Jeddah a little bit here. She does quite easily down the hill. So we look back through the grid. Jin's on his own. Brian's actually not that far behind him, but not going to be able to make anything work as they go down the hill into the chicane. Amy's still in the land of her own. And Cunnington and Jeddah still pretty much as they were. Oh, that did not look good. Let's have a look. Let's go back 10 seconds here because I want to see what happens down the hill between Claus, Fracas and JMS. But they go down the hill now, and it looks like JMS is just impeded there a little bit by Fracas. Fracas obviously in front. Oh, and he's hit the wall! Oh, that was not a good couple of corners for Claus. Got absolutely done over by Fracas, who was a little bit slow himself, and then into the wall, and that's hindered JMS as well, as Aurak is getting himself alongside until turn 1, and JMS is able to pull a little bit clear. But they're going to continue to drive beside each other down through 2 and into 3. Here comes JMS and Claus as they go side by side into turn 3. The outside of this corner is never usually a good thing, but the switchback might be available here for Claus. If he can do it, it'll be beautiful, but he cannot. JMS has managed to hang that pretty nicely and close the door on the switchback from Claus there, and JMS takes 9th position with a nice little move. They're still going at it, but I don't think they're going to be much in the battle with each other at the moment in time. I don't know. Oh, JMS went wide. JMS off the track. That's grass. You don't want to be mowing the grass on the outside of that sweeping left-hander before the sweeping right, because your car needs to be pretty much in a perfect line for this corner to get it right. Alright, gets past JMS as well in the process. JMS again sliding to the outside of the corner, and now under fire from Gr3, shoots off the track himself. Oh my god. Oh, there's another one off the track. Another mistake costing time. Jin's, what the hell has happened to Jin? Oh, Jin, that's not good news. We'll go back about 20 seconds, see what happened to Jin here, who slid the car. Oh, he's punted. Oh, he's been punted. Brian straight into the back of Jin. No regard to where the car in front was there. And that is going to do that. He's not going to be too happy with that one. Jin, as he loses out and drops to 10th. We're going to continue moving up the grid. Charizard versus Brian. Teammates fighting for 5th right now. We're on lap 4. I think we're about to be heading into lap 5. And Amy goes into pit. Well, we had the question, is anyone going to go for the pit stop strat in the sprint? And the answer is yes. The real question is, will it work? By Amy's comment at the start of this race, I don't think it will. But we'll wait and see. Still got a three-way fight here. Charizard on the back of his teammate. Fracas also involved, currently in 6th place. We've got 2 in front, Cunning, Fern and Jezza. Jezza did get in front since the last time we saw those two have a battle. But neither of them are anywhere near Whack, who is very, very in the distance at this point in time. One person I did expect to see more of from, though, in this sprint was Claus. I expected him to start moving the way through the grid. He hadn't done that. Let's see if he can do that in the feature later on as well. It looks like Fracas is closing in on Charizard before Charizard closes in on his teammate, as we are watching them go through the sweeping left-hander into the very, very long, like the main corner of Alsace. Here, the right-hander, and it doesn't look like Brian took that very well at all. It looks like we're going to remain as we are, heading into the hill in Sector 3 on lap 5. Doesn't look like we're going to be doing much in terms of in terms of a 9th lap. The only one that might get there is Whack, who is currently leading the way. Fracas goes a little bit deep there up the hill, and that'll cost him any chance of getting in front of Charizard anytime soon. Charizard is not bad at defending. You give him the chance to get a little bit of daylight, he will take that. That does not look good further back either. Aurak may have had a little bit of a bounce with the wall there. Amy on fresh softs right in front of Moose and Kuch, who's in 11th at this point in time. It looks like a little bit of fighting here, but not a lot in terms of a position change. So we head back through turn 2 down towards turn 3, and maybe Kuch is going to go after Moose here. Moose is really liking the outside line. I'm not entirely sure I'd be buying into that philosophy. Oh, that did not look good. Amy sliding the car and sliding her way down a couple of positions in this race. Down to 11th she goes. You don't want to be doing that too often. And yeah, there's going to have to try and fight back, even though she's on better tyres than the two cars in front of her. And down the inside of Kutch there, pretty nicely done. You get that wrong, could end disastrously for both people, but up to 10th again for Amy. And should be too long here before she dispatches Moose as well. We're on lap 6 here in the sprint. But at the moment, it definitely looks like that's not worthwhile in terms of a pit. Oh, that did not look good for JMS. He was about to stop pretty dead in his tracks there. Maybe he had a little bit of contact with Orak in the process, but that did not look quick going through the hairpin. Maybe it was more just to avoid any incidents happening, but it's not good news for him either way. That Renault not treating him very nicely here. Your outside line there wasn't because you wanted to do that. Well, that makes sense. Oh, that did not look good. That did not look good. Amy is all over the place on new tyres as well, which you would not have expected. Here comes Kutch to the inside of turn 1. Can he get it? Can he get it? Amy's not going to... Oh, Amy's in the grass. As well, Kutch is just avoiding on the inside there and gets the position nonetheless. Amy, you do not want to be spending all that time in the grass. It's not a good thing for you. You're not a lawnmower, you're a car. Yeah, now the tyres are warm as well, and Amy is not going to be having a great time here. We've got a freeway in front as well. Looks like Jezza has managed... Something has happened here to Cunning Third, who has now dropped to 6th. That's not good news for him. So Jezza and Wack are in the distance. Wack in the McLaren should be able to bring this one home from here. Jezza is definitely quick. Gonna battle in behind. Brian, Charizard and Fracas are still going at it. It doesn't look like an awful lot will actually happen here, so we'll go back to the battle between multiple cars as we head further back. We got Cunning Third, JMS, Orak and Moose in a four-way little, well, definitely in a freeway. Oh, JMS gets too much of the inside there. And, well, loses the rear end of his car. And it's just enough to make sure he doesn't get past Orak. And now they got up the hill. No contact there is pretty impressive. Moose gets a little bit of a slide on the outside. Outside of the hill. And as we go back down the hill, JMS looks to the inside, backs out, and should really stop stamping on his brake pedal and start putting like 50% in instead, because he is quite literally coming to a stop every single time there's a massive braking down. And that's probably not the best way to go around this track. As we continue on, oh, that did not look good from Fern at all, who's gone in the grass. And that might open the door for Orak, who's going to go on the outside of turn 2. Brings himself alongside the Supra. Toyota versus Toyota. As we go to the inside of 3. Orak on the inside line. Should make that work. But Colin Fern on the switchback. With a beautiful switchback. As oh, that's Moose. That's Moose who's now looking backwards. You don't want to be doing that too often. You do not want to be touching the outside of turn 3, and you do that, that's game over every single time. Amy's still on fresh tyres, looking to make some moves. JMS getting overtaken, or tried to be overtaken by Orak, who hung it around the outside for a split second, but in turn loses out until he pushed the pass on JMS, and Amy's in the grass. Amy is in the grass. That might have been a result of what happened here, but it also looked like she went too deep in the beginning of the corner. That's not good news for either one of them. And Orak's going to stay in 7th for now. JMS at 8th still. You got knocked off track. Yeah, that sounds about right. It was like a 203 car wide situation on the exit of turn 3 of this one, the final lap. So that means we're going to go to Wack, who's not going to get to lap 9, but will get over the line to win the sprint race in Alsace. Gr3 gets second. Charizard somehow has managed to get third after, well, Brian's had a bit of a mess up here. He's managed to drop behind both Charizard and Fracas. Fracas ends fourth. Brian's gets fifth. Cutting third's going to get sixth, and Dorak is just about going to beat out JMS, who's tried to battle him for a good 5 or 6 laps there. They've got Claus in 9th, Amy in 10th, Jin in 11th, Kutch in 12th, Juho in 13th, Monty in 14th, Moose in 15th after his spin, and Kakarai, whose name I don't think I mentioned since turn 1, ending up in last. And that is the end of the sprint race. A lot of things happened there. I'm going to need a drink. If this is going to be, every race is going to be like this. The one thing I think we can say was on an 8-lap sprint around Alsace is the pit stop strategy did not work. Yeah, Amy's pit stop strategy did not work. Also, here's all the races I'll be trying to complete in this one. I don't know if all 4 are getting done. Let's see how long it takes for my voice to give way. But for now, let's move on to the Alsace feature race. Tier 4. So, obviously, reverse grid on what we just saw. So, Whack Jumps is going to be starting at... Yeah, Iggy. Yeah, that's entirely your fault, Iggy. Come on. What are you doing? But, obviously, it starts in reverse of the race prior. So, very quickly, let's pause this and go over how they're going to start this feature race. This feature race, well, it'll feature different strategies, I reckon, because Alsace was one of those 1-stop versus 2-stop kind of races. I know I did a 2-stop. The 2-stop got my team in Tier 3 into 2nd place, so I've seen a lot of strategies float around for this race. Let's see if the 2-stop is the better one here. So, Andy is going to be starting on reverse grid pole. He's on the medium tires in the Supra. We've got Moose King behind him, also on the medium tires. It looks like Tier 4 all have an affinity at the front of starting on the medium tires and hoping it works. We got Juho on the mediums in the FT1 starting in 4th. And the first one to go onto the soft tires is Kutch in 5th. We expect him to make his way through the grid rather quickly. Jin on a medium tire, Amy in 7th on the mediums, and I believe everyone else will also start on the mediums. Claus in 8th, JMS in 9th, Orak in 10th, Cunning 3rd in 11th, Brian in 12th, Fracas 13th, Charizard, Jezza, and Whack is how we start. Everyone on the medium tires, apart from the Porsche of Kutch, who's currently in 5th. With everything already said, just double checking I've got everything in the settings. I think we are ready to go. So we will go. Here we go. About 2 or 3 seconds. There you go. 3, 2, 1, and we're off. And Andy is going to take us into turn 1 in the lead. I don't think anything should happen into turn 1. It's rolling start. It looks like Juho has got an absolute flyer over Monty. And Juho on the inside of turn 1 may already get a position. Have the exit of turn 1 going for him as we go up the hill now. The Jets are on softs. I may have missed that. Yeah, nope, you're right. The Porsches both starting on the soft end, so that looked like a team strategy decision. Monty has lost multiple positions off of the start of this race. Juho up into 3rd. And it looked like Kuch on the inside on his soft tyre was going to take advantage of that immediately, get past the McLaren. He's currently up into 4th. And it doesn't look like we've got a lot going on in terms of the lead of the race either. Moose not putting a lot of effort into overtaking Andy at the moment either. Kuch gets a little bit all out of sorts on the exit of the corner there. And, well, you're going to do that. That's going to open the door again for Juho to try and take back 3rd place. He will do on the inside of the sweeping left-hander. Amy currently up into 5th. Good start for her. And Monty is just dropping like a fly down the leaderboard right now. He's all the way down to 7th already. Started 2nd. Started 3rd, sorry. We got a Claus going against Jin. Gets past him, and doesn't look like that was a lot. Maybe a little bit of netcode there between Amy and Kuch as we go through the hairpin. And we've still got a lot of cars right beside each other. We've got Juho from Kuch from Amy. As we head up the hill. Oh, and Kuch is in the wall. Kuch is in the wall. Amy gets that all wrong. Oh, and the car and the retry the track pushes Amy off track. Kuch and Amy just not having an enjoyable time there whatsoever. Both going off the track as a result of each other. Contact from each other there has not ended very well. And Kuch's soft tyres, you would have thought he would have been able to have a lot more control over that. Same with Amy on the inside, probably should have been able to have more control over the inside line as well. So it's not a great start in the race for those two. We've got a 3 wide back here, so we'll go and actually take a look at that 3 wide. Amy Cunnington, and I believe that's Fracas, that is Fracas, as they all get separated down into turn 3 as Fracas goes a little bit deep, but actually gets the move done now, Cunnington. Monty in the grass as he loses another couple of positions, which is seeing him drop from 3rd all the way down to 10th on, well, by the time we hit lap 2. Which is never good news. Here comes Cunnington to the inside of Fracas. Is he going to get the move here? And he does. That's a pretty nice move until he gets it all wrong and can't hold the car on the outside and goes straight into the side of Fracas. Well, it's not even into the side of Fracas, into the front of Fracas. I assume Fracas is going to have some sort of damage as a result of that. He actually survived damage there. I'm not entirely sure how. But he's managed to keep his position as well, which is rather impressive. Monty in the grass as well, so he's going to join Cunnington at the back of the grid at the moment. 5 cars, 6 cars even, right beside each other, as we've got Jeddah trying to fight his way through the pack as well. Whack Jabs, who won the sprint, up into 11th at this point in time. Needs to get past Jeddah at some point if he wants to win this race. Jeddah is on softs. We've got Jeddah looking to try and get past Charizard here. They've got a battle in behind between Orak and Amy, which doesn't end in Amy's favour. Orak keeps 12th position for now. It looked like Whack just had a little bit of a scrape with the wall there. You don't want to be doing that too often. As we head down into turn 1 here. Amy on the outside now is giving up a couple of positions here. Brian down the inside of turn 1. Gonna have to get a good exit here to make this work. Does not in fact get a good enough exit as we head towards turn 2. I will go back to the front after we've watched this battle. And Amy is going to hold on for a split second, and Brian goes to the inside of 3. Amy's gone wide, and it looked like Brian should be able to have enough to hang this round the outside. No, he does not, and Amy's going to hold that position. That's well done. We head up the grid. Charizard versus Jeddah, like Hugh even. Oh, I'm going to get cancelled for that. Definitely going to get cancelled for that. Jeddah on the inside there, going against Charizard, gets that position. Well played by Jeddah, as we're now going to head up the grid. Moose and Andy are going to go at each other now. A fight for the lead, side by side, and Andy is going to lose out on the inside line. Tries a switchback in the hairpin, touches Moose a little bit, but Moose is going to do enough to put that Subaru in the lead of this race. That is well played by Moose in the lead of this race now. Let's see how long he can survive that for. Claws, however, is hunting them down. We'll see how long it takes for Claws to hunt these guys down. Claws, obviously, well, if you watch the first one of these Tier 4 races, Claws got away at the start of Watkins Glen and was never challenged again, so we'll wait and see if Claws is going to be able to make this 2 from 2 in feature races. Didn't have a great sprint race there at Watkins Glen, didn't have a great sprint race here either, so it looks like he might just be a feature merchant for the point in time. Juho in 4th, Kuch in 5th, who's really not been able to make advantage of those softs. But he might do here. Look at that. That is a nice little run on the inside. But unfortunately, it's not a good enough run to try and force something out of Juho here until Juho takes too much of an inside line on that corner, and Kuch hangs it round the outside to get 4th position. And Jin in 6th, not really under fire by anyone at the moment. JMS is 7th, also not really under fire either, as he's on the back of the 3 cars in front of him. It's split into 2 different packs at the moment. The top 7 and then the remaining 9, but if you do that, JMS, you're not going to enjoy the front pack for much longer. Do not want to be on the grass too often here. It will spell disaster before it does anything else. Here comes Fracas and Jezza. Jezza looking like he is meaning a little bit of business coming through the pack at this point in time. He's cleared Whack a little bit as we go through the hairpin, and he's not got enough in him to clear Fracas yet. At the front of the grid, Claude has got in front of Kakurai, so it looks like Claude is really going to be right at the front, pushing for a win here. We're going to continue to watch, see if Jeddah can force something in the near future. Jeddah should be able to get in front of Fracas relatively soon. He might be able to do this into turn 1. He's going to try, and he goes on the inside of turn 1. Can he get it done? He can get it done at the moment anyway. He's going to have to get a good enough run. He hasn't yet, so they're going to go side by side into turn 2. See if Jeddah on the inside of turn 3 is going to be able to make anything work here. And it doesn't look like he will. He's been held off. Fracas doing a very, very good job at holding Jeddah to basically nothing here. Jeddah's going to have one more shot. There's no real overtaking spots for the rest of the lap, so Jeddah's got to go for it here. If he wants to make the move, he doesn't go for it here, so he's stuck for a little bit longer, unless Fracas is going to make a mistake. So we're going to go a little bit further up the grid. Juho versus Jin. Jin getting a very nice run until he hits grass. And that's another jinx. Jin, it looked to have got a really nice run there on the outside, but he's going to lose the position to JMS now, surely, because his tires are going to be absolutely burning. You don't want to be in the grass too much here, obviously. But JMS is going to have a launch here at Jin. Stays behind. Also, I have forgotten to mention that this is the race where everyone went insane in Tier 4, and everyone was called some version of a cow. So, yeah, everything happened here. And it looked like JMS is finally on the outside here going into the chicane and should be able to get that. I'm not entirely sure why you'd cut across there, but gets the move done nonetheless. You see Andy and Juho right in front here, and Juho gets it all wrong out the chicane, and that's going to allow for JMS to get up into 5th, double in the chicane here. Jin looks to the inside. Can he make it? No, he cannot. So, as we are on lap 6 of this race so far, it'll be, what, 21, 22 laps this one? 22, 23 is actually more likely, I think. But we'll wait and see. The FT1 not faring too well at the moment. Oh, JMS is on the grass. JMS is on the go. He's round. He's no longer just on the grass. He's round. And he's now in the wall and got damage. That is not good news. That is not good news for JMS as we actually join back to a different battle. Amy, Orak and Cunning, they're going at it at the moment. Nothing really happening here. Let's see if Amy can actually force something against Dorak before we move further up. Colin Fern, you don't want to be hitting the inside of that corner. It'll unsettle your car just before you hit the two most important corners on the track. The second sector definitely the most important on this track. If you can get it right, you can gain a ton of time on the drivers around you. Colin Fern did not get that right. I don't think Amy did either. That was a bit deep, just about survived. As a whole, we've got battles going on left, right, and centre here, and I think that's Whack jumps on Jin. Whack went a little bit deep, and it's going to allow for Jin to overtake him back, and Whack on the inside with a nice little move. Will be a little bit of contact. It's a little argy-bargy. So we see Fracas now trying against Jin. Fracas on the outside of the chicane. Is he going to be able to do it? Jin is going to hold that in, and keeps a position. The two Gen Xers fighting in the background. Two Whack has got into the pits on lap 6. He is in a McLaren, so I wonder if this is a 8 lap apiece strategy on the softs here for Whack. But we've still got these two. We've still got a couple of battles at the back here. It looks like Jim versus Fracas is going to go out one more time, and Charizard trying to get himself involved a little bit there, but maybe have gone a little bit too deep on his own braking point. But he is still in front of his teammate at this point in time, as they are in 7th, well, they're in 9th and 10th at the moment. As 7th and 8th here is Jin and Fracas, as Jin just about holds on until Fracas gets one hell of a line. That is one hell of a line on the inside of the 90-degree right-hander. That is an exquisite move there by Fracas, who just gets everything right and moves himself up into 7th. You can't go wrong with that. Looking back up the grid, Claude is absolutely nowhere near Moose King, who is in complete control right now. You don't want to be doing that line a little bit very often, though. So Claude is no slouch. Claude's right now second to Moose King. You got Kuchin behind him on the soft tires. Those softs are rapidly falling off. Those are, well, there is only a sliver of white left on the tire. So there's, well, Claude has come off the medium tires now. So possibly a 7-7-8 strategy going on here for Claude in the GTR. See what he does later on. There you go, and off the mediums of lap 8. It's very, very clear. Don't even start, Ross. I'll have PTSD if he doesn't. Flashbacks from from Daytona if he doesn't. But from here, he's in a commanding position nonetheless. Cooch on the softs is going to be slowly but surely losing time. Yeah, half a second off his best lap. He's got a pit at the end of this one, surely. As we got a four-way battle. Andy on the mediums. Actually, everyone but Jezza right now on the medium tyre. Actually, Claude has just pitted onto a soft, I'm pretty sure. Yep, Claude has just pitted onto a soft, so this is going to be soft versus soft. Unfortunately for Jezza, Claude's softs are brand new, and he's going to go to the inside here and get that move done rather effortlessly. And that is the benefit of new tyres against old softs. So, oh, that looked a little bit high there for Claude. But I don't think he's going to complain too much as long as he gets a pretty good run here against Juho, who's going to try... Oh, Claude on the outside nails that. Nails that with the overspeed. Right past Juho. Juho never saw that coming. If I didn't see that coming, he definitely didn't. Oh, and Andy did the grass. Andy did the grass. So that's just a free position for Claude, for Juho, and for Jezza. And all of a sudden, Claude is on fire. And it could be very interesting from here on out. So Claude has clean air. There's Jezza coming in. Kuchin's also come in. They've both done 8 laps apiece on a soft tyre. Moose is staying out, so Moose, I assume, is about to try and attempt to one-stop here. Let's see how effective that goes. He is in the BRD, so the tyres shouldn't fall off too quickly. Juho is going to be pretty nicely stacked up against Claus here. Claus should be able to clear sooner rather than later, and he does, going into turn 4. So, Kuch's a little bit of a slide there on his Porsche on the medium tyres. Needs to get readjusted. See if he can get past Andy relatively quickly here. Tries to the inside, maybe a little bit of a tap. But nonetheless, not able to make the move stick. And Brian's also trying to get himself involved now. His medium tyres quite worn as we go through lap 9. It looks like they're going to have a freeway going into the long right-hander because Kuch has just not been able to make a move stick here against the Supra. Let's see if he can do it down into the hairpin. He's got a run. He's definitely got a very good run. Can he do what Juho did in the last lap? But he's going to go to the inside here, and Andy's going to shut that door, but he won't shut the following door. And I think Andy has been pushed off. Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. That's contact. Kuch gets in on the inside there of Gr3, and Kuch does let him by. Good show of sportsmanship there from Kuch against Gr3, as Whack Jamps is also going to get through and up into 5th as he's currently on a new set of softs. And it looks like Gr3 is all over the place now. Well, Gr3 and Kuch going side by side again, a little bit more contact between the two. And they're now going to go down toward turn 1, and it's going to be a position gain for Kuch in the end. It took him a lap, probably a little bit longer than he wanted to. Oh, Gr3 playing that with a dangerous game with going into the grass on the exit of turn 1. The cars do not like doing that. It will absolutely wreck your car. Let's see how quickly Claude is closing in on Moose King here. Moose King doing a 53.8 on the prior lap. 2 seconds a lap right now. Claude closing in on Moose on lap 10. So, any battles going down the grid. Right now, we've got one between Andy and Gr3 and Aurak. Aurak to the inside. It looks like Andy's going to be able to hold on there. Pretty nicely done. It looks like JMS had a little bit of trouble getting back onto the track after that 90-degree right-hander. It's just made a little bit of a meal out of it. It looks like we're now going to have a 5-car train. And it's going to be Gr3, Aurak, JMS, Jezza, and Jin, yeah, on the back of this group. Jin, albeit I like the low line in this on this track, maybe a little bit too low of a line, going in to the sweeping right-hander. JMS still has to pit sooner rather than later, looking for a one-stop on his Peugeot. It looks like Gr3 got deep. Gr3 has got deep. He's lost a position there, and we might be about to see Jezza overtake. Actually, Gr3. Oh, JMS is in the grass. Well, I guess I'll finish the original sentence where we'll see Jezza overtake JMS, because that is eventually what happened. JMS is in the wall again. He cannot get this car back on the track, as his teammate now peers into the distance. And if he's got common sense, he's just going to let his teammate go here. JMS is not having the greatest time of this. He's actually going to try and fight his teammate a little bit here. That was probably not the smartest decision I've ever seen. Fracas should just get that position off of him relatively easily. Right, back up to this battle going through for 8th place right now. Gr3 on worn tyres. The other two, I believe, are on relatively new tyres. It looks like Jin is going to be on the outside of Gr3, gets that move done. And maybe pushing Jezza a little bit through the corner. Jezza's going to stay in 8th. Jin moves up to 9th, and Gr3 is going to fall all the way down. No tyres left at all. So, new mediums for Jezza. Softer, a couple of laps worn here, I think, for Jin. Oh, that looks a little bit deep. That looks a little bit deep. Yeah, you can't get away with that. And now into the backs, into the mercy of Gr3 all over again. As Jezza's going to break the gap a little bit here. Luckily for Jin, he should be able to clear Gr3 again because the tyre difference, and he does so relatively quickly. But now Gr3 has a go at Aero because he doesn't have to defend from behind. Let's see what he can come up with here. So at this point in time, Claus is in the lead of the race. Claus does have to pit again. Moose does not. So that's where we currently sit. We'll get a better idea of where we sit around about lap 16. That should be where everyone who is doing a two-stop probably called themselves in for their second stop. Juho into the pits now as we continue to watch this three-way battle. Aero, Gr3 and Jin. Jin on the outside of the first part of the chicane and the inside of the second part of the chicane. Made a brilliant move there against Gr3. Gr3 is going into the pits again. Not entirely sure why. That would be an interesting run here on the softs. I'm not sure I'd do 10 on a soft tyre. Because I vaguely remember this race going 22 laps. And even if it's 9 on a soft tyre, it's 21 laps. That would be relatively interesting. Jin on the inside of Aero. That's a brilliant move on the inside of turn 3, sorry. And that is a brilliant move there by Jin, even with the tyre advantage. That was not an easy move to make. But that is going to feel so nice. Oh no! Oh no! Oh Moose, no! He looked so good. He was in control for a large part of this race. Oh, and he's been tapped. And then CA spun round as a result. Oh, that is extremely unfortunate for Moose. Oh no. Oh, that is going to stick. Into the grass again. Well, that ends any chance of winning here. And here comes Cooch on the inside of the sweeping right-hander against Brian, who is going to lose out on this position, surely. Brian's got no tyres, Cooch does, and Cooch is going to use the inside of the hairpin to make sure he's in front, and does so rather effectively. Up into third goes Cooch. Wack is currently in second. Have to pit sooner rather than later, and Claus in a roughly the same position after pitting on lap 8. And I think it was lap 7, the pit for Wack off of his medium tyres. So we'll wait and see what is going to happen here. I think Claude is in complete control of this now. Brian now into the pits. Yeah, Claude and Wack Jab should be the two that run off into the distance at this point. Cooch is only just coming through turn 1, so any chances of him doing an awful lot here are, well, against the front two, are not really going to happen. Moose still in 4th at the moment, albeit, well, he doesn't have to pit again, so that's the saving grace for him. Really loves that inside line. Absolutely loves, not the inside line, the outside line, sorry, in turn 3. Absolutely loves it. Can't get the braking point right at all. Unless he's doing it to save tyres, which could be an interesting way of going about it. Jin right behind him. Let's see if we've got any battles on track at the moment. Fracas is 6th. We've got JMS and Charizard. JMS is going to have to pit sooner rather than later. Look at those medium tyres. Charizard on softs right now. Juho on softs too, not long since pitted. Monty also in 10th right now. Has not really said his name since the start of this race, where he just dropped like an anvil down this leaderboard. Gr3 in 11th, Brian's in 12th, Cunningham in 13th, Gr3 in 14th, and Aero in 15th. Gr3's race was so promising for a short while. It just did not have enough to sustain it. Here comes here comes the freeway battle between JMS, Charizard and Juho. And it looks like all three of them are still relatively close. They're heading down towards the chicane now, the end of lap 13 here at Alsace. It looks like Charizard doesn't know where the braking point is meant to be, though. He manages to put too much on the brakes. In comes JMS. Let's see if Juho can make anything with this. It doesn't look like he is going to be able to. Right now, it looks like we're pretty sparse for battles on the track. Cooch looks like he's about to have a go at Monty. A couple of people just pit their second pit stops of this race, or their only pit stop. Monty's just going a bit deep again. That's going to allow for Cooch to make easy work of this one, as he now moves up into 8th. The 2-stop for some guys, the 1-stop for others. It's a very interesting choice and difference in strategies. But for now, we'll see how it all plays out. Sooner rather than later. Here comes Juho on the outside of Charizard. Doesn't really make a move yet. I can imagine if he can get a good enough run, he'll make one down into this hairpin. It looks like, nope, Juho actually stays away. Doesn't actually make a move. In comes Claus for his second pit stop of this race on lap 14. And we're currently 27 minutes through, so there's about 13 minutes left in this race, plus extra time for laps that need to be completed. Juho on the outside now. Oh, he's gone deep. Oh, he's gone deep. He's gone very deep, and he's in an attempt to overtake Charizard, missed his braking point, and yeah, that's going to cost him. That's going to cost him a chunk of time. He's not going to be too happy about that one. Cooch now really close to Juho. Whack and forth, Claus in 10th. Moose is still in the lead of this race. The real question is by how much? The answer is not a lot. As we currently watch him, it's still a substantial gap to Claus. The only problem for him, he's got like 6 laps to hold it. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold this. I think Claus is going to have just about too much in the end of it. Fracas in 3rd, having a good time, but his softs are starting to fall off a little bit. Whack jumps in 4th, Juho in 5th, Cooch in 6th. Those two arguably one of the closer battles we have on the track right now, and we're actually going to continue watching it in the process. It looks like it looks like Juho's going to be able to hold on for a little bit longer here against Cooch, and that is going to be the case as they head into the hairpin. Juho's doing one of his fastest laps of the race so far. Cooch is getting really close, but not close enough. Maybe with the switchback underneath. But no, again, that door is shut pretty early by Juho, and pretty good defending. So far, they go up the hill. Now into the chicane. This time on the last lap is where Juho lost all his time. Went deep against Charizard. Let's see if there's a mistake brewing here. As Fracas now comes into the pits. And there's no mistake for brewing from either driver as we watch them go through the chicane. And it looks like Juho has managed to hold on for a split second longer. Cooch is probably going to end up on the podium. Well, no, maybe not on the podium, but it's certainly top 4 by the end of this. I can't see Juho being able to hold him at bay for much longer as we go into lap 16. As of right now, the front 3 are pretty much very much clear of everyone else, as Whack Jabs is having a little bit of a nightmare going through turn 3 on the lap. Juho's gone deep. Juho's gone deep onto the grass and concedes the position to Cooch. The stout defending was going on very well there from Juho right up until he made that one split second mistake, and that allows for Cooch to go after Whack Jumps now. Let's see if the American has got it in him to overtake Whack. See if he can get himself on the podium at the end of the day. Well, as give our routine check into Moose versus Claus. Claus currently beating his fastest lap of the race so far. It just looks like that Moose is going to run out of time. There's no way he doesn't end anything lower than second. Certainly will end on the podium. But it looks like he's going to run out of time. Well, Claude is going to be able to get him before he runs out of time for an overtake. So that GTR is probably going to get this one done by the end of the day. Moose is actually going into the pits. Never mind, he's two-stopping, which is interesting of why he's did 10 laps on this medium tyre then. Not sure why he did... Oh, he didn't put enough fuel in. Well, that would explain the two-stop then. That would explain the two-stop that he didn't put enough fuel or any fuel in the first time. Yeah. You need to do it in just a two-stop there. It's 8 laps max on the mediums if you're going to try and make that work. That's just hand everything to Claus now, and well, Moose is going to have to try and figure his way back onto a podium now. Stop cursing past you. Every time I say something good about you, something happens. Hey, Skittles. The servers are up. Yep, the servers are definitely up. Well, outside the Kucha podium, I'll say that much. Let's see if, well, the bearing pack can try and catch up with Kucha and Juho, third and fourth at this point in time. Don't have to spend any time on Claus and or Whack for the rest of the race. That 1-2 is very much secured. As we on lap 17, about 32-ish minutes through this one. We're getting a pyro-sized throwaway. Oh, Skittles! I managed to throw away something worse than Daytona. Yeah. That's all I'm going to leave that as. But yeah, Moose is now in 5th. That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, common occurrence at this point. Moose should be able to make quick work here of Juho. Yeah, I could be saying that very wrong. But that's how I'm saying it now. I said it the first week and nobody corrected me, so that's how it's staying. I did that the first week as well, so that's not on me. If he would have corrected that if he wanted that corrected. But as we go through, we're kind of just meandering towards the end now. As we see Moose going after Juho. Let's see if 4th is on the table for Moose this time, or am I going to curse him and he goes like 8th? That would be very apt if that was to happen. What happened to the Suzuka Moose that ended up winning? Definitely not at all because I botched it, but but yeah. It doesn't look like Juho's got a lot of pace compared to Moose here. Moose should be able to catch up. Juho's tyres are slowly but surely falling off. I think they'll fall off enough by the end of this one. .15.8. Currently Juho's best lap by 0.3 of a second. His 53.1 is currently his best lap. Needs to do better than that. But he is recently promoted from Tier 5. Oh, you don't want to be doing that too often. Yeah, I think he got away with that because Moose did not look as comfortable coming up the hill either. That may open the door for Jezza sooner rather than later as we see him come down the hill now. And, oh, that voice break. Oh, that voice break is bad. I've used up all my commentators' curse. You trust me, even though these are past races, don't say that. We always know there's one more. You never have enough commentators' curse. in a race. There's always one more. Even when you don't think there's one more, there's somehow always one more. We got Fracas versus Brian's coming up here. They're fighting for 8th position now. We're on lap 19. We're 35 minutes through the race. 40 minutes, so about 5-ish left on the clock for this race. Yeah, I might not curse you, might curse someone else. But yeah, there's always enough time for one more commentator's curse anyway. It looks like Fracas is getting really close here to Brian's. We watch him go through the double right-hander into the sweeping left, and Fracas is just going to hold off for a split second longer. Fracas's tyres are a ton better. This should open the door sooner rather than later as we go through the sweeping right-hander now. The low line here for Fracas. Oh, they've come together! It looks like not enough, just about not enough, for someone to go spinning. I'm fearing the worst for a split second there. Fracas does just about enough to save Brian's race as well, and in the process we'll just wait for a better overtaking opportunity. We get that down towards turn 3, probably the next lap. What? At least 3 minutes worth of laps left. At least 3.5 minutes worth of laps left, actually. So there's a couple that might make it to 22. Those will only hit 21. As we continue to go through Fracas, right on the back of Brian's for P8. He's going to go to the inside here. He's actually going to go back in to try and get a little bit more of the slipstream, see if he can make something work into turn 3. Going through turn 2 now, and probably the best overtaking spot of the entire track coming up. Going to the inside, knew it was coming. He's still on the inside, but his run is nowhere near as good as it needed to be to make the overtake work, so he's going to be stuck behind Brian's for a little bit longer. Those tyres falling off though, mate. Oh, never mind, there you go. Well, there's a Fracas in a wall. Fracas in a wall, gets way too much of the outside grass there at turn 4. And that is effectively the end of anything he had. Moose is currently in 4th. Let's see if he can go after Kuch. Probably not. There's not enough time to catch that sort of gap. So Moose is probably going to have to settle for 4th. Juho is getting caught quite quickly here by Jezza. Jezza looking for a top 5 finish here out of SAS. He would gladly take that, especially after the first race here as well. Be a pretty nice little points haul in for him today if he can get this position off of Duo. Claus is in the distance. Whack Jumps is there too. We've got about 1:40 left actually, so I'm not sure. Let's see, 17 seconds. I'm not sure realistically if there's enough time there for Claus to get to a 22nd lap. Well, I guess we'll wait and see. Going through, seeing if there's any more battles. Still got the Jezza versus Juho fight. That's got one more lap to reach its conclusion. I think this conclusion is Juho's going to be able to hold on just about long enough. I don't think we're going to have many more changes in terms of position going on here at all. I think we do have a battle going on between the two Supras, so a Supra battle for P13 going on here in Tier 4. It looks like Cunningford right now is going to win that battle as we see them go towards turn 2 and Kakurai just slips in behind, and Cunningford does in fact take that position off of Kakurai. It doesn't look like there's a lot of response here for Kakurai either. Here comes Charizard on Aurak. Let's see if Charizard can break into the top 10 very quickly. Is he going to go to the inside? No, he actually backs out. Aurak definitely does well enough in covering the inside as he is defending 10th for his life right now. We've got Claws and Whack Jumps heading towards the line. We've got about 2 seconds left, so we're actually going to head straight toward that as Claus comes from the final corner, will not get a 20-second lap, but will make it 2 from 2 in terms of feature races in Tier 4. 2 wins from 2 for Claus, a very, very, very good stamp for his authority on the title through 2 races here. Whack Jumps gets second, Cooch gets third, Moose in the end gets really close to recovering a couple of mistakes, but only could do 4th. Juho gets 5th, Jin gets 6th, Jeddah gets 7th, Brian is going to get 8th. Those 2 was really close, Jeddah and Jin. Fracas is going to come over the line in 9th. He's got no 1.5 mile radius of him. It looks like Aurak may have made a mistake. Aurak did make a mistake as Charizard gets up into 10th. And he gets 10th. JMS gets 11th. Aurak ends 12th in the end as Cunning Fern gets 13th. Kakurai is going to get 14th. Monty 15th in the end. And someone quit as we did start with 16. But we only end with 15. And that means that we are done for race 2 in Tier 4. I know. Tier 4 comms are only at week 2, and yeah, we've done 5 races. But yeah. Fracas in a wall. I take it, Fracas dead. So if you can hear me, take a drink. But I'm going to need a lot. So who won the cow award for going off track the most times? Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, from what I saw, it depends on whether you want to go biggest incidents or most time I feel like was off track. I think I'm going to give the actual cow award to JMS more than anyone else. I think if I'm going to do a top 3, maybe we're going to do JMS, Jin, and then probably Amy. That'd probably be my top 3. Amy spent about 6 years off the track in the first race. But yeah, that's what I would give anyway. I don't know if anyone agrees with me. Moose is definitely a close one too, because albeit he didn't spend a lot of time off track, his time off track were massive. But yeah, if I'm gonna give it to anyone, I would probably give it to JMS. Yeah. I completely forgot about that award, to be completely fair. Until you reminded me of it just then. So I guess that'll take effect for Road Atlanta. Oh. Just had to mute my mic while I started sneezing. Is anyone else, like, when they start sneezing, always able to sneeze in, like, periods of, like, 3 sneezes? I can never just sneeze once. That was a weird thing to be talking about. But I can never just sneeze once. It's always, has to be a triplet. Does someone want to tell Amy that she can come back now and that she doesn't have to watch the Alsace nightmare anymore? Flavored water is like the best thing, I swear to God. I'm currently drinking an apple and blackcurrant flavored water. But yeah, it's absolutely great. Give my voice a little bit of time to recover, maybe a couple of minutes before we go into the Nord. This is going to be This is going to be interesting on the voice, I reckon. I know it's only 7 laps at the end of the day. What am I looking at? Hold on a minute. Hold on. What is that? Oh God! It took me longer than it should have for me to realize. What on earth is that? What is that livery, Jin? Oh, the Moobaroo. The Moobaroo BRD rightfully says on underneath the rear wheel. Oh God. Oh, I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm absolutely dying. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Oh, we've got a Ferrari. That's Saeed's here. All right, okay. So this is the first race where everyone that's currently in this tier is going to stay in this tier. I think there was a couple of switches before this race. Honestly, this just needs to be. If someone doing an end of season montage or whatever, this picture just needs to be the title. Like the thumbnail of the entire thing is just this picture. Alright, so we've got Jin first. Jin on pole at the Nord. Never! I could never have saw that one coming. You've got Cunnington second, Brian third, Moose in fourth, who seems to be absolutely rooted to fourth position at the moment. Saeed in fifth, Charizard sixth, Orak seventh, Whack eighth, who is apparently not as good here as he was at Alsace. Diablo ninth. He's picked himself. Oh, he's still in his Genesis. The poor man. Kuchin 10th, Jezza in 11th. The Porsche's not having a good time. Fracas in 12th. Claude in 13th. Claude just cannot qualify. That's what I've realised here. He just cannot qualify. He'll win the feature races. He just cannot do anything in terms of a bit of one-lap pace, apparently. Amy in 14th. You got both the GTRs beside each other. Juho in 15th, who it seems to be doing this quite regularly after his promotion into Tier 4, and JMS rounding off the grid. JMS not having a nice time here then. Give me the camera angle back. Give me an extra minute just to take one more drink before we get this one started. So what's the bet on the amount of races I'll actually be able to do before my voice gives out? Honestly, could easily be just this race. But we'll see nonetheless. Yeah, it's not Alsace anymore. It's not. This is round 3. This is the Nord. We have gone. Half the grid didn't complete qualify before the timer ran out. So it's just driver error then. Got it. Well, I hope it's just driver error, so surely the amount of time was given. But yeah, Ryan, this is round 3 now. We have gone through one race. Yeah, so 1 down, 3 more to go. And with that said, I think it's about time we start race number 3. So there we go. There we go, 3, 4, 5, lights, and it's lights out, away we go. Who's going to be the first one to murder everybody going down into turn 1 at the Nord? It looks like we're already going 4 wide. Here comes Brian's cutting, third, OG Moose. Is anyone going to die? Oh, that's a little bit of contact to start. That's not a great start at all. I'm not getting a good camera angle for this whatsoever. It doesn't look like much anyone has actually died off the start here. It looks like a far cleaner version. Right, that's a better camera angle. Right, as we look like Jin's got away relatively quickly here. Jin is well in the distance off of the first lap. You got Moose, who's managed to work his way up into second. That's a good start for him. Let's see how he botches this one away. Brian's in third, Saeed up in fourth in the Ferrari, which is a bold choice to start with. Cunning Fern in fifth, Charizard in sixth, JMS in seventh. Claude's currently in eighth, who's managed to gain 5 places off the start. Orak in ninth, Amy in 10th, Cooch in 11th, Diablo in 12th. I still feel really sorry for this guy having to drive to Genesis. Fracker's in 13th, Juho 14th, Wack in 15th, who had the worst start known to man apparently. And Jezza in 16th, who also didn't get off to quite a great start in that Porsche. Now it's there's already a penalty for Brian, so that it's actually rather impressive on the GT. Well, to be fair, it's the only place you can get a penalty here on the GP part of the circuit. Bearing in mind, it's about an 8-minute lap, an 8-minute 20 lap roughly for Tier 4. The camera angles really do not like the Nord, do they? I just want to watch decent racing. We've got Claude versus JMS here, actually. Let's see if we can see anything coming down the hill. It looks like Claude is able to get in front of JMS up into 7th at the moment. It's just so compact. There's no real way to actually get a decent camera angle. Albeit, if you were just doing a trailer or something, that would be an excellent bit of racing. As we continue to watch them into the middle of, well, into the beginning of the lap, even we're only 2 minutes through the first lap, 2-lap race. Oh, that did not look clean. That looked like a little bit of a hit there as they went through. JMS versus, well, JMS got a little bit clear on Orak. Orak versus Amy is, oh, Orak's off! Orak's off! Orak's done a me. Oh, it looks like Diablo's also done a me. That did not look good. They both went off up the hill there. You did not want to get that wrong. That's cost them both a little chunk of time there. Diablo drops to the back of the grid. We're going to go back up the grid. That's a half-second penalty for Wack now as well. That looked like a relatively new penalty, considering it was still flashing red when I switched to it. And we're going to head down the hill now, as it doesn't look like a lot's going on in terms of a battle, like straight side-by-side racing, but it is the Nord. I'm not entirely sure what I'd expect. It looked like JMS just got a little bit of a shove there from Cooch on the way through. Amy is currently in 8th. Everything is still going on. No one has really made a mistake yet, apart from Orak and from Diablo as well. We saw those both as they came up the hill. This, the point we'd just gone past is where I ended up losing my Nord race, which is still a memory I want to erase forever. But oh, that did not look good there. Someone else has had a bit of a moment. It looked like Claude has had a bit of a deep corner. Amy is also getting in front of JMS players in the process. It looks like everyone is just fighting for everything at the moment, apart from if you're at the front, because Jin is gone. So unless there's a mistake here from Jin, who, let's be honest, spends more time than he absolutely needs to on the Nord, I don't think there's going to be much of a problem for him here. They got Moose in second, Brian's in third. See if we can get anyone with an actual battle. It looks like 6 backwards are going to be actual battles. Let's see if Amy and JMS are going to try and go side by side through here. it would help if I could get a camera angle of it. It looks like JMS looks to the inside. Is he going to get it? Does probably not with a little bit of a slide of the car like that. He's still alongside. These two are having excellent racing through the middle part of the Nord. We are pretty much approached, well, just past halfway in a lap. Oh, that did not look good. That did not look good. JMS, oh, JMS has tagged Wack on the way back. JMS is actually the one that comes off worse as a result of that. JMS contact, I think that was with Amy, and then again with Wack on the way back into the track. It's not good news. Here comes Cooch and Wack going through this corner together. We've got a three-way battle, a two-way battle in front of us actually, if I can find a good enough angle. It doesn't look like so. It looks like someone's had a bit of a nightmare there. Claus has had a lot of a nightmare. He ghosted enough to lose 4 position. Every time you look at the stream, JMS is in the grass. Well, that is pretty apt of how he's actually been driving so far. And Charizard is driving against Davey now. Not a fan of these camera angles, I'm not going to lie. It's way too tight. I can't actually see anything that's going on, and it just has about... Honestly, if this was a movie, you'd be moaning at the amount of jump cuts. That's not even... How is there a camera that's not even in focus? As we go through about 6 minutes into a Nord lap, and we still have 6 cars right on the back of each other at the moment. It looks like Moose is now in 3rd. He must have had a bit of a moment to drop behind Brian's, who's currently in 2nd, as we continue to watch this little battle. I say this little battle with half the grid as they go down towards well, the 7th minute of a lap. And this is the part of the track I absolutely adore. Like this part of the track, you go down, you start doing all the quick corners. The part of the track I absolutely adore. But it's only this part, because the rest of the Nord is not exactly a nice place to drive. Not on GT anyway. Well, not for me, in my opinion. I've just offended half the stream with that sentence. Claus against Cooch now. Claus trying to fight his way back. You're not going to be able to fight your way back by pushing someone onto the grass though. As Cooch does manage to get by, well, actually get overtaken by Claus in the end. And these guys are still right on each other's rear bumper, going through mini carousel now. As we are about to hit the back straight. Yeah, we are hitting the back straight. Here comes Moose and Cunning 3rd even. Where the hell has Cunning 3rd come from? Moose must have had a bit of a problem, and it's actually a little bit of teamwork going on here between Moose and Cunning 3rd. Moose probably should have, you know, decided that going up a little bit earlier. It looked like that car was revving a little bit more than it should. They're still together at the moment, Moose and Cunning 3rd. As Cunning 3rd eventually gets by with the power of the Supra, as they are heading toward the end of the first lap here at the Nord. It looks like we've got a little bit of a battle further, a bigger battle going on further down. We've got Charizard followed by Amy, followed by Cooch, followed by Amy, and then Claus, JMS, and Whack Jamps all right on the back of it. So let's see how this is going to unfold as they go into lap 2. To lap 2 of 2. There's still everyone fighting in the mid-pack. A couple of guys fighting towards the front. Jin about 10 and a half years into the distance. Anything other than a double win for Jin, it's probably a really, really bad week for him, to be honest. It looks like Wack gets in front. What happened to Amy, actually? Amy's now in 11th. Which means Amy got overtaken by multiple people there. It's Whack Jabs is going to go on the inside of Claus, and Claus is in the gravel. He's managed to hold the car. That's rather impressive, but it's still going to allow for Whack to get by. But Whack up into 9th. Claus does just about enough in order to make sure his car is not going to go all over the place. He's also lost his position to his teammate. And all we're finding out here is that Claus cannot do sprints. I'm pretty sure that's now 3 for 3 of bad sprint races for him. And Charizard versus Cooch right now, as they're going through the last parts of the GP section. Cooch with the slipstream should be able to make something happen here into the chicane. Maybe a little bit of late braking might also open the door. Maybe he's going to try it. Let's see if he is going to try it. He is not going to try it. He's still almost side by side, but JMS is going to go and try it. Oh, it looked like he was going to try it, but decided to back out. Probably the wise move through Nürburgring chicane. Oh, that did not look good. A little bit of contact, but they're both managing to hold their cars at the moment. A little bit of argy-bargy here between JMS and Whack Jumps, not Whack Jumps, and Cooch pretty much the entire race. Well, considering I have it's a Cooch in the wall, and I think JMS knows that he's immediately done something. He got, oh, that's a bit mean. That reset to track is a bit mean. I'm not sure that he deserved that, but that's yeah, that was a pretty big hit. That collision, JMS knew exactly what he did. So he stopped up and waited for him immediately, and that's basically those two out of this race. It looks like Claus is is in need of payment for being a lawnmower by the end of this one. We've got Whack Jams versus Charizard. Whack Jams forgot that there's actually tarmac in the middle of the track rather than grass. He wanted to do his little bit of a job at the lawnmower and cut some grass in the process. And Charizard goes very deep, and that allows a Whack Jams to go on through, and possibly even Amy. Amy's got alongside. Amy's got a little bit in front even, as we've got 4 cars really battling it out now, as Charizard versus Claus is happening. I'm not entirely sure what is going to happen here. Claus is on the grass again. Why could he go on the grass like that, but when I go on the grass like that, it killed me? It looks like Claus versus Charizard is still going on, still raging on in the background. And he's got Whack Jam. Oh, that did not sound good. Oh, Claus is in the grass again. Claus, this is just a you can make a compilation of me just saying Claus is in the grass this race. Charizard still hasn't got in front of it somehow. So, Amy's up into 6. Saeed is in a visual now. He's very big to Amy at this point in time. Saeed needs to do a little bit more to hold on to that 5th place. We're currently halfway through the 2nd lap of the Nord. This is good. This has flown by, to be completely fair. We'll see if oh, that's a wall. That's a wall for Saeed. He's not going to be enjoying that. That will definitely open the door. Sorry, I'm about to say open the wall. For Amy to try and get something to work here. We've got Jin, who's by far away the fastest guy on this track, and I don't really think I need to visit him anytime soon until he crosses the line here. That's a pretty nice move on the inside there from Amy, as she takes 5th place off of Saeed, who's had a moment of madness or two, I reckon, on this lap. Was very comfortably 5th, not comfortably 5th anymore. He's now in 6th, and he had a McLaren of Whack Jumps closing him in really quickly. We'll see whether or not that's going to be taken advantage of. Who's going to win here, the Ferrari or the McLaren? Both having a slipstream here from the GTR in front of them. Nothing really changing up front. Claus is actually in a little bit of space on his own now, and maybe won't find grass sometime soon. Charizard and Jezza are going at it, and they head down towards the carousel. Oh, that did not look good further up. Whack has had a moment there. Whack has had all sorts of a moment there. He's not got control of that car. It definitely did through carousel anyway, or into the entrance of carousel. Is definitely not a good idea of a place to start spinning your car. Doesn't look like an awful lot is going to happen in the second half of this race. Everyone's started to spread out a little bit now. And I would assume this would be the exact same when we come to the feature. Get a couple of laps in. And everyone will be starting to pit and starting to be spread out. Claude going after a whack. Let's see if Claude can actually try and get an overtake around the Nord without going on the grass. As they head into the most, the most recognisable part of the track, I reckon. Honestly, also the parts where you could either go big or go home. In personal opinion, anyway, you can just launch it down the next couple of corners from this one. This one in particular, you can launch it from here. Saeed in 6th. Amy is very much in the distance down. Moose is right behind Colin Faird, who's right behind Brian. Jin is already on the straight. I don't think it would be that easy for Jin, but it definitely has turned out to be that easy for Jin. We'll continue to watch this battle until Jin hits the line. And once Jin hits the line, we'll go and watch that and then sort out what we do from there. So we're going to continue on. Oh, Whack's in the wall! Whack has gone too deep. Whack has gone too deep. And straight into the wall. He's just cost himself a couple of positions there. Jin is at the end of the straight. Now headed into the final couple of corners. Complete and utter complete and utter domination here from Jin. Couldn't say that with a straight face. And he goes over the line, unchallenged there to win the Nord sprint race at the very least. And he's going to go over the line. And now here comes Brian. He's going to come second. Colin Third holds out for the podium. Moose is rooted to 4th, which seems to be his favourite position this season. Amy's going to come over the line unchallenged for 5th. It looks like a couple of guys in the background. Saeed getting hunted down by Claude right now. Has he got enough pace in that Ferrari? Who's got it? Saeed got it by a split second. Claude comes 7th. Whackjaps comes 8th. Charizard 9th. Jeddah comes 10th. JMS 11th. Kuch 12th. Diablo 13th. Juho 14th. Fracas 15th. And Orak in 16th place. Fracas not enjoying the Nord at all, given the fact that he was relatively quick at Alsace. And that is the end of the Nord sprint for Tier 4. That was complete another that was just a destruction. That was... Jin took everyone apart in that race, and there was no stopping it. And I can assume that we'll have a very, very similar race here in the actual feature. I can't see Jin doing much else than what he just did. We got a trial mountain afterwards. The one race I haven't done, so I can't. I will be going into that race completely blind, which is fun. We'll wait and see. After we've done the 5 laps of the Nord here. Alright, so we're going to pause this very quickly because I don't have any of the settings in for this one. And, well, we're going as reverse grid, obviously, so need to go through the reverse grid before we start this. Not very far away from starting at all. So, Orak starts the race on reverse grid pole. He's on the soft tyres. You've got Fracas in second on the mediums. Probably a smart choice, especially if your car can do 3 laps in this race. Get the medium out of the way early, do the softs while you're on the cold track. Mediums for Juho in third. Diablo is on the softs in his Hyundai Genesis in fourth. Gooch on the mediums, fifth. JMS in the mediums is sixth. Jezza is seventh. Charizard in eighth. Whack in ninth. Quads in 10th. Amy 11th. Moose in 12th. Cunning Fern in 13th. Brian's in 14th and Jin in 15th. Someone didn't show up to this one. But yeah, that's everyone else on the medium tyres, apart from, I believe it was just Diablo and Aurak. Yep, just Diablo and Aurak that are on the soft tyres for the first couple of laps here at the Nord. And I think with that, we're ready to go. It looks like we're ready to go. 3, 2, 1. Alright, going to lead us off for a rolling start down towards turn 1 at the Nord, which is, the Nord 24 hours, which is an awful corner. We'll see if everyone survives it. This time goes Fracas, who's absolutely flown. How has he managed to keep his car? Someone else in the background there has not. I think that was Juho. Yes, that was Juho, who's not managed to keep his car. I think Moose King have kind of fed, just going at each other at the background there as well. Wow, that was just a flyer, literally a flyer off the start from. Oh, there goes Claus into the gravel trap, and it's chaos already. It started. It's chaos already. So you've got Juho went into the gravel trap at turn 1. Fracas also went flying in turn 1, somehow still in the lead. You also got a lot happened there. You got Claude in the gravel trap, Fracas that went deep. You had Juho that went into the gravel trap. It looked like Jezza and JMS are tapping each other going through. Also, it looked like Diablo. That's a Hyundai Genesis if I've ever seen one. Having an absolute nightmare there in the beginning of this race. He's down to 5th now. He went very, very deep into one of the final corners on the GP section of the track. It looks like Whack is about to have a good shot. Here at JMS decides not to. Oh, there goes Diablo again! There goes Diablo again! I'm not sure if that was just a spin-off contact or he just lost the car. But he's round and he's probably got all the way to the back knowing his car, and that's not a good sign. That someone has spat in the background there. So Diablo spins here. He's managed to get himself onto the gravel, so he's lost all sorts of track at all. I think it's Amy. I think it's Amy that span here. Oh, it is Amy that span. Into the wall, straight into the wall. Jin already up into 11th. Cunning Fern and Moose going at each other again. And Jin's cutting some grass. You know, I know you're dressed as a cow for this race, Jin, but you don't actually have to act like a cow. But yeah, as we go through the opening of this race, that's 4 or 5 people who have already spanned their way to the back of the grid. Fracas and Gooch have managed to managed to push their way clear of everyone else. You still got a side-by-side. Oh, Jenna in the wall! Oh, there goes JMS too! There goes JMS on the grass again. Those two collided, I think, again. That was not good from those, as that allows for the front pack to just break away now, surely. If you're Aurak, Kutch and Fracas, you have got to be loving your situation here. Someone's crashed here. Someone has flown off the background. I'm not entirely sure who it is. Oh, it's Jezza. Oh, it's Jezza and Jin. Jezza and Jin loving that little bit of grass there. I think there's a little bit of damage on their cars too. As a result of that, that's not exactly the cleanest of lines down, I don't think. Yes, we are almost at the halfway point. The halfway point comes at the end of these 5 laps, actually. So we've got the Trial Mountain and Interlagos races to go after that point. Oh, it looked like Jed's decided to go cutting some more grass. As he is still fighting against Jin. Those two trying to work their way through the grid right now, and it's not being used to great effect if they're taking each other out. Oh, it didn't look like Charizard had the greatest line either. But oh, there goes cutting third. Too much grass. Too much grass on the outside there. One wheel in. And that is enough to send that car spinning round. Almost cuts off the Hyundai Genesis there as well. That was almost a nightmare. I wonder what else is happening in terms of this race. There's just chaos. Absolute chaos. The racing in this tier has been great until this race. This is the race that I've seen many people collide into each other, and this is the worst one I've seen from this tier so far. No question. It's only been half a lap. We got a Fracas. I think that's Fracas and Orak. Oh no, that's Fracas and Kutch in the lead of this race. A nice little move there from Kutch to take the lead. As those two both looking to try and get as much of a gap as physically possible in the opening stages of this one. People switching positions like they're going out of fashion. Jin currently in 6th place as he's worked his way from 15th. Charizard, and you've got Jeddah behind him. Amy also fighting her way back after, well, essentially going missing after spinning in the first part of the Nord on this lap. But being the fact that it is the Nord, there is a lot that can change and a lot that will change. From here, there goes a nice little move on the inside from Jeddah to take advantage of a mistake from Charizard there. I think Amy also got through following the hole that was created there by Jeddah. Made a really, really nice move. Oh, Jin spun it! Jin has spun it! That'll allow Jeddah to go on through. It looked like Charizard had a bit of a moment there as well. Yeah. Oh, Jeddah's at the back here, so he's looking at the wrong car. Jeddah's ghosted inside of Claws, which is an interesting way of going about it. I feel sorry for Charizard, who had to completely react to Jeddah becoming ghosted very quickly. Moose is also 11th at the stands. You know, try and fight her way through the pack as well. Jin only spans to 7th though, so if I was Jin, I'd still fancy my chances of flying my way right through towards the front. You kind of have to limit those mistakes though. That cow staring at me is going to haunt my nightmares tonight. What the hell is that? But as we go through, it looks like Claus is just about avoiding the gravel again. He had the gravel trap at the beginning of this race. We'll wait and see whether or not he's able to keep it clean from here on out. He's still got a... I don't think everyone's quite so separated yet, even though half the group has in fact spat. Also looks like someone else has spat at the back there. We're actually going to take a quick look who that is. That's Juho again. Juho span off immediately in turn 1, and he's span off again now. Kucha's got a distance here between Fracas and Brian, who are 2 and 3. Orak in 4. Whack Jump's not that far behind him in 5th. We'll see these two continue to bat it out. And they're now going down the straight. The RCZ versus the Genesis. I would imagine that the Genesis wins this one very easily, and I would be right. It doesn't even take half the actual straight itself to get that Genesis in front of the Peugeot. Peugeot will try and fight back though with the slipstream. See if he will be able to make anything happen before we go into the final couple of corners of the first lap here. That's a little bit wide. He's gone into the grass there, Fracas. He will, in turn, stay behind Brian for the meantime. Oh, that's Whack! He's in the grass! Whack is in the grass! Arak is going to get a little bit of breathing room now then. Amy in 6th is completely unchallenged by a teammate in 7th. Jezza in 8th at the moment as well. Moose in 9th. He's worked his way up a couple of positions since the last time we came this far back. Let's have a look, because Brian's and Fracas... Oh, Brian's has got a decent gap on Fracas now. Fracas must have had an awful final couple of corners on the lap. And Brian's is clear, so he's now going after Kurtsch's having a pretty good run of this one. Porsche has got away very, very quickly, and see if there's a way that anyone comes back into this. You got that kind of gap. As long as you don't spin it at the Nord, there's not usually a way to lose it. Unfortunately, it's the Nord, and spinning it is pretty much the name of the game. Fracas is currently in 3rd. Arak is actually not that far ahead of Whack Jants, albeit has enough breathing room for the moment in time. Amy still relatively decent far away ahead of Claus. Charizard on his own. Jeddah probably the same distance behind him as we saw between Arak and Whack earlier on. Jin in 10th, who is flying at the moment after his mistakes, numerous of them. Him versus Jezza is actually going to be a pretty good matchup. They've been fighting the entire way. JMS almost tried to cut some more grass there. You see his tyre marked in the gravel, manages to hold on onto the car though. It will go dark at some point, which is going to be quite funny. It's where I'm expecting most of the mistakes to come, even though that first lap was incredibly hectic. BRD holding on at the moment against the Peugeot. Moose in the other BRD is not really doing an awful lot in terms of catching up right now. The couple of corners back on the 3 in front. These 3 all into a little train. Jin looks like he's all over the place. Not the same. It's not the same Jin we saw the first time round. They completely destroyed everyone in the sprint. So it didn't look like that was particularly good corners there. Jez almost looked like he went too deep into the grass. But for now, Jez is going to hold on. JMS is on the back of this train. It looks like Charizard is going to be involved sooner rather than later. It looks like Jin has actually finally got past Jez as they head down one of the long, straight is probably not the correct word for it, but it's as good as it's going to get. Oh, it's Charizard in the gravel! That is Charizard in the gravel! That gives positions to both Jeddah and JMS as well. And Jin, for that matter, as they all move up 1, and Jin moves back into 8th as Jeddah. That's a nice little camera angle of Jeddah hunting down the Mubaru as we go along. Looks like Jin should be able to start to break away sooner rather than later, but at the moment we've also got Arak versus Amy versus Claude a little bit further up the grid. I wonder if these two talk, and if these two talk, I wonder if there is a little bit of an instruction coming sooner rather than later, given that Claude is fighting for a title at this point in the season. Currently won both the feature races. Not great sprint races obviously, but feature races has been his forte so far. Amy gets past Arak, so any sort of movement, any sort of order maybe just about to, well, it can't happen now. It's Arak. Oh, we're gonna go. Oh, and that happens. Amy on the one side, Claus darted on the inside, and wow, I think Claus saw a gap that he did not need to go for. I think if Arak and Amy are side by side there, they're fine. They both make that corner. Jin's up to 6 now. I'm not sure if Claude needed a dive from that far back. That's my issue with that. I wonder what happened in the steward's room for that, because that looked like an unnecessary dive, but it caused all 3 of them to spin in the end. So Jin's in 6th, Claude's in 5th somehow out of all of that, and actually has himself a pretty big amount of daylight as well. Mike Johnson in 4th on his own. Fracas is pretty much in the distance as well. And pretty much everyone at the front is all pretty much untouchable at this point. I say at this point because we're only on lap 2 of 5 of a race around the Nord, which means that one fuck up and everything comes crumbling down, I know from experience. Coach is still doing enough at the moment to hold off Brian's, is probably like 3 or 4 seconds further back. Fracas and Wack are running their own little race at the moment. Same with Claude, as Jin is trying to hunt him down though. And if I'm going to put bets on anyone hunting someone down today, it would definitely be Jin. Jin is absolutely flying around the Nord. And reasonably quick. But for the tier full of Germans, let's see if the Germans end up fighting each other. Amy's still hanging on to the back of Jin, which is rather impressive. To be fair to Amy, as we've got Jezza a lot further back with JMS on the back of him. And if I'm guessing Ross has probably come back into the room at some point, which means Jezza's probably going to be in grass sooner rather than later. Here comes JMS on the inside here against Jezza. Oh, these two might be coming together. These two might be coming together. I don't know if they actually will. They're both going a little bit airborne there. It looks like Jezza's going to hold on to 8 for now, as Jezza's going to be in front. JMS is going to try and chase, as we're going through the middle, well, towards the end actually, of a lap round the Nord. So it's going to be lap 2. There is a yellow flag. Who's the yellow flag for? Oh, it might be for Cooch. It's either for Cooch or it's for Fracas. It's one of the two. But Brian's now in the lead of this race. Not entirely sure what happened. But either way, everyone just got a lot closer than they were before. As we're currently watching Fracas and Claude be really close together, Jin and Amy on the back of this as well. So it's a lot closer now than we were here at this point, the end of the last lap. Which means we also marks the fact that we are 40% through this race, and now we get to see who pits. Who is going to do a strategy here that is going to be relatively interesting. And Brian's got it in off the mediums, do 3 laps on the softs. That is exactly what I would expect someone to do here. Jin is also going to follow suit. No one else, absolutely no one else at the front is going to do that, which is relatively interesting. I would have also, the guys on the softs obviously will be doing that strategy. You got Orak on a soft tyre, he'll be doing 3 laps. You need to remember who the other guy on the softs was. It was Diablo actually, who is no longer in the lobby. So we'll find a battle to take a look at now. I'm done with all the tyre business for now. We've got some people doing 2 then 3 on soft, which is exactly what I would have expected people to do. The people, and then you've got most of the lobby actually doing the reverse strategy. 3 laps on the mediums, 2 laps on the softs. I think you could have. I think you'd probably be better off with 3 laps on the softs, if I'm completely honest. But for now, we're going to continue watching anyway. So, Claudes versus Fracas, that's a battle going on. I don't think, yeah, Kuch is a long way away from Whack, who has actually got a decent chunk of time there between himself and Fracas, who doesn't have the same luxury to Claudes in 4th. Amy is in 5th, a little bit further back from her teammate. Jezza in 6th, Aurak in 7th, and everyone's starting to bunch up a little bit, which is the opposite of what I was expecting. Also, the pit lane being an absolute monster here as well is not going to help. A couple of guys will probably head towards the back from their pit stops. So, Claudes, Fracas, both going at each other now. Claudes right at the back of Fracas. These two still have to pit, so does Kuch, so does Whack. And I can only imagine that that will be the case come the end of the lap. And if that, yeah, I would assume that would be the case by the end of the lap here. And they're still going at it, to be completely fair to them. It's 100 and some, like 150 odd corners or something daft like that. So there has to be an overtaking spot sooner rather than later for Fracas, who's been overtaken by Claudes not so long ago. Oh, well, not anymore. Not anymore. Fracas is in a wall again. Fracas is in a wall again. We saw this at Alsace. We've seen it at Nord. That man cannot catch a break. Well, any chance of he had of catching Claudes back up, who overtook him like a couple of corners prior, is over. Claudes has now got 3rd to himself quite comfortably, a couple of corners ahead of his teammate who's currently in 4th. Jezza in 5th, being chased down by Aurak at the moment, who's got Moose King really close to the back of him. We'll get to see now whether or not there's a move or two happening. Brian's is 8th right now, as he was the first of those who pit. We'll see where he is going to come out when they eventually go into the pit. I assume at the end of the lap. There'd be nobody. Well, I don't even know if I want to call it brave to do 4 laps here. I don't even know if people can possibly do 4 laps here on a tank of fuel. That would be unbelievably impressive and also require a ton of fuel saving. So I don't think anyone's going to try, which forces the rest of the grid into a pit stop on this lap. See if any moves are going to be made here. So Brian's on new tyres. Yeah, on new softs. Moose is on the medium still. Aurak is on about half one soft. So, and we're into night time. Which at the moment 8:22.2 was the fastest lap of the race through 2 laps. We'll see. Oh, that did not look good. That does not look good. He's doing his best lawnmower impression again, and Moose is in the wall. He only drops the 2 position, well, the 1 position to Brian. He didn't get past Aurak at any point, but that is not good news for Moose, who now has Cunning Fern lining up 1 on the outside and gets the 1 on the outside, and that's a pretty good move there by Cunning Fern to take advantage of the hole created by the mistake. That was not good news there at all if you are Moose who's crashed again. You know, Jezza versus Brian's versus Aurak as well here. They're all fighting for 5th right now, being given that Brian's is currently in the lead of net P1 of the race. He was the one that pitted on the last lap. Get to see whether or not he is able to do anything more when he gets some clean air here at the end of this one. Jezza will have to pit, so will Aurak. Aurak got overtaken by Jezza not that long ago. It looks like Jezza's having a good lap, currently about 2.5 seconds ahead of what he was prior on his prior lap. Doing enough to hold off Aurak and off Brian's. Something might have happened here. Oh, Aurak's got off! Aurak has got off, and that is definitely through contact. We saw it in the background, of the foreground even, of the prior camera shot, that those two had come together, so that, I can imagine that one went to the stewards relatively quickly. I don't think Aurak will be too happy with that one. Here comes Jezza and Brian's now. As Brian's gets to continue unharmed. We've got Cunningford right on the back of this. Has Cunningford pit? No, he has not. Which means that Brian's is going to have a lot of clean air sooner rather than later. But it also doesn't help him that Kutch has had an unreal amount of free air in this lap, and quite frankly could go and do whatever time he wants now, because he is absolutely on his own. So it's a question whether or not he has had a good lap. If he has had a good lap, then there's probably no shot Brian's is going to come out of this in the lead. It doesn't look like he's going to come out of the lead if he's going to make that kind of mistake, which he does. He loses about a second or two there to Jezza, and might be about to be overtaken by Cunning, and he has. That is not good news for Brian's, who's going through, and will use the slipstream to get back in front of Cunning. And here comes Kutch into the pit lane now. You got White Jumps, who is closing in and also does go into the pit lane, so does Claws, and I assume Amy won't be too far to follow. The first one who has pit is Brian's, and Jezza will come in, as we are about to see, in a couple of quarters' time. Shouldn't be too bad for him as we go on through. And well, Brian's is also in the pits. What? Ah! What is this choice? Why are you two stopping? I'm so confused. Why did he come into the pits? Well, there goes any chance of him winning this race now then, and I guess Kutch is coming out. And he is absolutely elated to see nobody. Why is Brian's pit? Why has Brian's pit? I have no idea why he would do that. That is absolutely insane. Maybe he just didn't like those soft tires, but that is why. That is just, I'm baffled. I'm absolutely baffled. There is no reason. There is absolutely no reason. Also, I think it's my internet or YouTube, one of the two. Because mine is also going to when I'm doing those three right now. But we'll continue through. I'll go and double check my internet after this one. Maybe have to reset the stream or something of that nature. But we'll continue on anyway. We're already 4 laps through into the 4th lap of this race, so I might as well continue on watching it from here. But it doesn't look too bad at the moment. We got through, well, Whack Jamps is going against Jin, who's managed to get himself back into this race at the behest of Brian, who absolutely still bewildering why you would two-stop. I can understand that you might not like the tires. You just tough that out. I don't care. You tough that out. He is absolutely just throwing away any sort of chance of a win. You got Amy not that far behind him now. Brian is still managing to be in 5th at the moment. Jezza in 8th, Moose in 9th, who's... Oh, he had 4th in the last 2 races I watched. Whether or not he's going to head 4th here is... he'd have to pull out an absolute miracle then, 4th here. He's going to have a good go at Jezza right now. Jezza's on the softs. Moose is on the softs. Kind of behind is on the softs. Here comes Moose on the outside here. Gets the run and gets the position as well. So does cutting third. That's a nice little double on Jezza there. I don't think people like Moose, I don't think Moose or Cutting Third are going to be complaining with an extra position at all. It looks like JMS is all alone right now. Same with Amy, who's actually not that far behind Brian, who is a couple of corners off of this triple threat. So, right now, Cooch well off in the lead. You've got Claws, Gin, and Whack all fighting it out for 2, 3, and 4 for the 2 bottom steps of the podium. We're on lap 4 of 5. So there's only a couple of laps left for these 3 to work it out. Claude right now doing enough to have yet another good feature race. And that seems to be the basis of his championship drive, like championship charge at the moment. Don't do anything in a sprint race, but drive like nobody's, like it's the end of your life at the end of a feature race here. Here comes Jin, who goes to the inside here on Claus. And Jin is going to be able to get that move sorted. And back into second goes the Mubaru. And yeah, we're still got a 3-way battle here. Claus is trying to scrape his way back against Jin. Whack is hanging on into in the background, albeit not on the back of both the cars as he was before. So he's lost a little bit of time on the 2 cars fighting their way through the middle of the Nord. We can't be that far away from hitting around the carousel. It's also nice to know that doing this while it's pitch black, you barely see anything. As he's still got Jin on the inside here against Claus, as they are actually headed up to the carousel now. It looks like Jin is in fact going to hold second position going into it. And allows a Whack to get right onto the back of this. Brian is now appearing in the distance, which means Amy isn't that far back. And elsewhere, Cooch is like half a dozen corners up the road, and he is clear. He is clear. All he has to do is drive the most safest 1.5 laps I've ever seen in order to actually get somewhere here. Get the race win even. We got Jin and Claus still fighting out. Whack jumps is well off the back now. He's in fact probably closer to Brian's than he is to the front 3. And that means that Amy is not that... Actually, Amy has lost a little bit of ground to Brian's as they continue on in lap 4. I will reset the stream after this race. We'll call it part 1 and part 2. Oh, JMS is in the grass again! JMS is in the grass again! And he is, I think we can, every single time I go to it at this point. It's not been a great season so far for JMS, I don't think. Cunningham in 8th, Jezza in 9th, OG in 10th. He's going to go against Jezza right now, side by side. Looks like Jezza may have had a bit of a mistake on a corner or two prior, because Moose has just made that look extremely easy. Which is not something you would expect around the Nord. Especially around a corner like that anyway. Here comes Jezza in 10th. Orak in 11th. Got Charizard in 12th behind him. Those two are close. Juho in 13th with Fracas in 14th. Those two races pretty much ended immediately due to mistakes of their own doing. We're going to continue to watch these guys down the straight. Claus has actually got his way all the way back to Jin now. After he has got overtaken earlier in the lap. Jin, however, is absolutely flying. Let's see how close he can actually get to Kuch by the end of this. Kuch is currently on the home straight. You've got Amy ahead of Brian's in 4th and 5th. JMS again, yeah. You got Whack Jamps, who dropped from 4th to 6th, is not having a nice time at all at the moment. He's driving on his own again. This time he's not driving on his own in a good way. The JMS against cutting 3rd, 7th and 8th. Actually not that far behind Whack Jamps now. And another mistake would allow for cutting 3rd to get by, and maybe even just a slipstream. Might be a situation enough for cutting 3rd to get past JMS. But for now, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that into turn 1. A little bit deep there from JMS, but still manages to hold it in tight for turn 2. You got Brian and Amy. Where's Whack gone? Whack has just disappeared. Whack has just disappeared. I don't know if he pit or something, but he's lost a lot of places. Also, Brian's not able to get by. Whack is in 10th, and Whack has had another mistake. Well, and Moose King is now in 7th. And JMS looked like he had another mistake. A lot of stuff just happened. But for now, we're going to continue back to the fight for the 2nd position in this race. You see Kuch in the distance, the white light far into the background of our screen there. They came up toward the chicane as... Oh, here comes Claus to the inside of Jin. Jin shuts that door very, very quickly. Maybe haphazardly as well. He's done enough just to close it in so he can stay in 2nd. As we continue to watch these two fight out into the Nord one last time. I say Nord one last time as if it's not like a 6-minute part of the track. Oh, Jin to the wall! Jin is in the wall! And Claus, for some... I guess Claus just either hit him or just didn't take advantage for some reason. Claus should have just absolutely walked on through there. Decided not to. Jin has decided that mowing some grass is a good thing to do as he continues to drive on it through this race. We cannot afford too many mistakes like that one. 8:19, sorry, is the best lap of this race so far. Jin currently has it. We won't be beating that this lap. We've still got a couple of things happening at the moment. It looks like Amy and Brian's are still fighting. Connie Third is ahead of Moose by a decent chunk, so I think those two will pretty much stay as they are as JMS peers into the background there. Jezza and Wacker fighting it out further back. As we still heading toward the end of this race. We're on lap 5 of 5. But I don't know why Wack is able to do anything against Jezza here, so we'll go back to the two battles towards the front of the grid. Claude versus Jin, Amy versus Brian. That's for second and third, and then fourth and fifth respectively. Right now, there's not an awful lot in terms of an overtake, or even looks into an overtake happening around the Nord. It's just a case of Claude and Brian buying their time in this race, currently on lap 5, and we'll see if something is meant to happen with about 4-ish minutes left of this race to go. It looks like Jin is getting a little bit of a break. A little bit of a break here on Claus. As you can see, that Claus is in complete darkness. It's almost starting to be the same on Jin. So Jin is starting to break away just a little bit. Headlights broken off the back of Jin's Mubaru. We've got Amy and Brian's, they should be peering into the background here. They are. So this might end up turning into a joint battle. Maybe a 4-way battle for second. If there's enough time left in this race. One thing there isn't enough time for, though, is anyone to pass Kud. She is absolutely flying. I don't think there's any way beating him. I don't think there's a mistake coming here either. And he has been utterly dominant again. Well, I say again, but it's his first time I've seen him in this dominant anyway. American absolutely flooring the feature race around the Nord. It looked like he might have come under fire from Brian's at one point, who's now got in front of Amy, actually. Not that long ago. But that double pit stop from Brian's is not... I don't understand. Unless he just didn't have the tank. That could be it. He might have just not had the tank of fuel, in which I probably would have still tried to fuel save anyway, and that's probably what he realized in terms of actually having to do stuff that he hadn't done enough fuel saving through the first 2 laps. Claus has a penalty! Claus has a penalty! Oh, he got a half a second penalty there. At some point in the Nord, he's well off the back of Jin now, so that's the first 2 done and dusted without a mistake. Claus now has a half-second penalty, and he's cutting some more grass! And here comes Brian's to take that position off of him. And in the last lap of the Nord, he's lost his podium. Claus at the end of this race has just fallen apart. And maybe under fire from his teammate now. Right at the end, the worst time to start making a bunch of mistakes, and he's just compounding every mistake at this point. Because as soon we're just watching him, and the more he does it, the more he drives, the more he makes mistakes, and now he's been overtaken by Amy too. And they're now going to head down towards the straight, and Claude is not going to get the benefit of DRS because he has a half-second penalty. DRS, slipstream even. That's just commentating way too much on F1. But yeah, he's not going to get this, the benefits of slipstream here because he's just too far back. In the meantime, here comes to the final couple of corners. This has been as easy as you can get around the Nord somehow. Here for Kuch, who's managed to make this his own. He's won. Well, he hasn't put much together before this, but at the Nord, he was completely unstoppable and wins the Nord feature. Jin's got a 1-2, and his day today, first in the sprint, a second in the feature. Brian's is going to come over to third, but I assume there's probably an incident in the stewards to deal with here. Amy's got fourth, Claude has got fifth. Con in third is going to come over very easily in sixth. I don't think there's much of a challenge coming in late from Moose King here, who is only coming round the last corner now. He should be coming in 7th again, relatively unchallenged at the end of this one. He has actually, in fact, run out of fuel, so he has to get to the line, in which he will. And here comes Whack Jamps, who's managed to work his way back to 8th somehow. Jeddah comes 9th. Expecting more from him today. JMS comes 10th. Orak, Charizard, Duo, all fighting their way through the final couple of corners. It looks like Orak's going to work this one to the line. And he is going to work this one into the line. Wins, well, I say wins P11. Charizard P12, Duo P13, and Fracas comes over in 14th. It's not a good day for him at the Nord. And that brings us halfway into this marathon stream. I can't tell whether or not it's still going fine. Give me a little bit of time to catch up. For those who are currently in the actual stream, is the stream fine for you? Because if the stream is not fine for you, I'll reset it. If it is fine, then we'll keep going. We're down 2, and it is currently 5 o'clock. Might get one more in before I have to eat. Which will just leave in ALR gods. It stops and starts. Yeah, that's okay. That's the same. It does it for me too. So I will actually very quickly run an internet check. Probably run a couple other things. And then get back to it. Yeah, right. Back in a minute.